All right, everyone, it's Mr. Rops here, and today we're going to look at 3 different ways to find the zeros of the equation. This is another way of asking you to solve this equation, or find the zeros, or find the x-intercepts. Because graphically, if I make this y, then when is y 0? That is an x-intercept. So let's get right to it. If I'm going to do it graphically, I'm going to take that equation, throw it into my calculator, or if I'm fortunate enough to have Desmos available, throw it into Desmos, and I can quite clearly see that I have 2 x-intercepts, 0 and 1.4. And so graphically, I can make my graph, and I get this, and this value is 0, and this value is exactly 1.4. So x equals 0, or x equals 1.4. Algebraically, if I want to do it, what I have to do for this equation is I have to start with factoring. And if I'm going to do it algebraically, it implies you're going to factor. The first kind of factoring I always look for is a common factor. If I look for a common factor, they both have x. So it's x, 5x minus 7 is 0. And now, I have the null factor law here. It says x times this number is 0. Well, the only way that can happen is if x is 0 or 5x minus 7 is 0. Solving for x here, I add the 7 is equal to 7, and I divide by the 5, and I get 7 over 5. 7 over 5 is the same as 1.4. And then finally, there's a new app I'm going to show you. I'm going to use Polysimultaneous 2 on my GDC. If I go to my calculator, and if I go to apps, there's an app on your calculator called Polysimultaneous 2. Now, you may have more apps. You might have to scroll up and down your lists to find them, but you're looking for Polysimultaneous 2. So I'm going to start on that, and it says press any key. So I'm going to hit any key. This time what I want to do polyroot finder. So I hit number 1. Order, it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, or 7, and so on. I have an order 2 because I have an x squared as the highest exponent. That's what the order means. That's good. All these scenarios I'm going to keep as they are. And then I could go main. Next refers to this button here. If I click on graph, that's the next. And then I go through and I add values to here. I'm going to clear that, clear that, clear that. Now, A2 is the value in front of the x squared, which in this case is 5. Hit enter. A1 is the coefficient in front of x. So that is going to be negative 7 is in front of x. Negative 7. And then A0 is the constant term that has no x, and there is none there, so I have to hit 0 for that. Enter it, and then I hit solve by hitting the graph button, and I can clearly see that x equals 0 and x equals 1.4 as my 2 solutions, or the 2 zeros of this equation. If you're given your calculator, I expect you to use it efficiently, and polysimultaneous is the most efficient method available to you.